Amphi means both. So both in the sense ovular body and embryo sac shows curvature. Hence these type of ovules are called amphitropous ovules. The degree of curvature is 160 degrees. The degree of curvature is 160 degrees. Micropyle is directed near to funicle. Micropyle is directed near to funiculus. Micropyle is directed near to funiculus. So this is a chalaza. Micropyle, funicle, and this is embryo sac. ES. ES is nothing but embryo sac. And integuments, outer, and this is inner integument, outer integument and inner integument. So, in which members we can find out these amphitropous ovules? In which members we can find out amphitropous ovules? Examples for these amphitropous ovules: alisma, Papaver or Papaver, and Butymaceae. So, which members exhibit amphitropous ovules? Alisma, Papaver, Butymaceae. These members exhibit amphitropous ovules. And the next one is succinotropous ovules. Succinotropous ovule. So, this type of ovules, the degree of curvature is 360 degrees. The degree of curvature is 360 degrees. So, in this type of ovule, funiculus take a complete turn around ovule. In these type of ovules, funicle take a complete turn around ovule. In these type of ovules, funiculus take a complete turn around ovule. So this is the funicle or funiculus, micropyle, chalaza, integuments, outer and inner integument. This is a embryo sac. Examples: Cactaceae or Opuntia, etc. Succinotropous ovules. So the degree of curvature is 360 degrees. The funiculus take a complete turn around ovular structure or ovular body. So hence these type of ovules are called succinotropous ovules. Example for this: Cactaceae, Opuntia. The next topic is megasporogenesis. So what is this megasporogenesis? The process of formation of the megaspores from megaspore mother cell by meiotic division or reductional division, that is called megasporogenesis. So what is megasporogenesis? The process of formation of megaspores from megaspore mother cell by which division? Meiotic division or reductional division, that is called megasporogenesis. What is megasporogenesis? The process of formation of megaspores from megaspore mother cell is called megasporogenesis. Yes. So, how this megasporogenesis takes place? In the hypodermal region towards nucellus, in the hypodermal region towards micropylar, and one of the nucellus cells develop into primary archisporial cell. In where ma? In hypodermal region. In the hypodermal region towards micropylar, and one of the nucellus cells develop into primary archisporial cell. Yes. So this is the primary archisporial cell. In the hypodermal region towards micropylar, and one of the nucellus cells develop into primary archisporial cell. Yes, this is a primary archisporial cell. After formation of the primary archisporial cell, what will happen? This primary archisporial cell undergo periclinal mitotic division. Which division, ma? Periclinal mitotic division. The primary archisporial cell undergo periclinal mitotic division. As a result, it can produce two cells, outer parietal cell and inner sporogenous cell. How many cells it produce? Two cells. What are those two cells? So, outer parietal cell and inner sporogenous cell. Outer parietal cell and inner sporogenous cell. Here my question is, what is the ploidy of the archisporial cell, and what is the ploidy of the parietal cell, and what is the ploidy of the sporogenous cell? See, the primary archisporial cell is developed from nucellus. So what is the ploidy of the nucellus? 2n. And the primary archisporial cell also developed from nucellus, so that the ploidy of the primary archisporial cell is 2n. This primary archisporial cell undergo periclinal mitotic division. So, mitotic division is nothing but equational division, so that there is no change in the number of chromosomes. So that the parietal cell also contain two set of chromosomes, and the sporogenous cells contain two set of chromosomes. So, archisporial cell, parietal cell and sporogenous cell all are having two set of chromosomes, hence those are called diploid cells. Now what will happen? The parietal cell once again undergo repeated mitotic divisions. As a result, it is going to add the cells to nucellus. The parietal cell undergo repeated periclinal mitotic divisions. As a result, it can produce the cells. These cells are added to nucellus or adding to nucellus. So, what about the sporogenous cells? The sporogenous cell develop into MMC, megaspore mother cell. Sporogenous cell develop into MMC. Sporogenous cell develop into MMC. So, what is this MMC? MMC is nothing but a megaspore mother cell. But in some members of the angiosperms, the archisporial cell or primary archisporial cell directly develop into megaspore mother cells. But not in all the members of angiosperms, but in some members of the angiosperms, primary archisporial cell directly develop into MMC. Yes, after formation of the MMC or megaspore mother cell, the megaspore mother cell undergo meiotic division. As a result, it can produce a linear tetrad of megaspores. So when MMC, megaspore mother cell undergo meiotic division, as a result it can produce a linear tetrad of megaspores. As a result, it can produce linear tetrad of megaspores. The megaspore mother cell undergo meiotic division or reductional division. As a result, it can produce a linear tetrad of megaspores. Yes, these are called tetrad of megaspores. But here, how many megaspores are there? 4. But out of these 4, 3 will degenerate, remaining 1 develop into functional megaspore. Out of these 4, 3 will degenerate. So 3 megaspores will degenerate. Remaining 1 develop into functional megaspore. Yes, these 3 are called degenerating megaspores. Degenerating megaspore. Degenerating megaspores. So this one is a functional megaspore, FMS, or functional megaspore. This is about the entire process of megasporogenesis. Shall we discuss briefly once again? Yes, megasporogenesis. What is this megasporogenesis? The process of formation of the megaspores from megaspore mother cell by meiosis or reductional division, that is called megasporogenesis. In the hypodermal region towards micropylar and in the hypodermal region of the nucellus towards micropylar and one of the nucellar cells develop into primary archisporial cell. This primary archisporial cell undergo periclinal mitotic division. As a result, it can produce 2 cells, outer parietal cell and inner sporogenous cell. So this parietal cell once again undergo repeated mitotic division. As a result, it can produce the cells. These cells are adding to nucellus. What about sporogenous cell? The sporogenous cell develop into MMC, megaspore mother cell. But in some members of the angiosperms, primary archisporial cell directly develop into MMC or megaspore mother cell. The megaspore mother cell undergo meiotic division or reductional division. As a result, it can produce a linear tetrad of megaspores. So among these 4 megaspores, 3 will degenerate, remaining 1 develop into functional megaspore. But my question is, from which end of the megaspore will develop into functional megaspore? Either micropylar end or chalazal end. The chalazal end megaspore can develop into functional megaspore. Whatever the megaspores are present towards micropylar end, those 3 megaspores will degenerate, and the megaspore which is present towards the chalazal end, that develop into functional megaspore. This is about megasporogenesis.